Radio Raheem here with Michael Buffer, the voice of boxing, and also always the guy that's dressed better than me no matter how hard I try. Michael, you will be, giving the fans your signature phrase on this magnanimous occasion come May 2nd. Is this the biggest fight for you in boxing for all the things that you've been a part of?
I've been a part of a lot of really great promotions and a lot of really big events, but at this point and up until May 2nd, I think we can all agree this is the biggest fight and the biggest promotion that I've ever seen. Hopefully, after May 2nd, we can say, wow, that was the greatest fight in history. That's what you always have to wait for is what happens afterwards. But I really think it'll be a great night for boxing.
There are a lot of journalists and analysts that, give the fans their perspective on fights and have seen so much, but you have maybe seen more than most of the most storied analysts out there. So when you look at this fight, I know that you're probably not going to be able to give us a prediction, but give us from side to side, Manny Pacquiao's strength, Floyd Mayweather's strength, based on your experience in boxing, how you see the fight shaping up.
You have two fighters that each have the will to win. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They're comfortable in their own skin. They have no problem training, making weight, staying in shape all year round. I mean, you have all the elements of a great fight. Sometimes you'll have a great fight in the past. They'll say, well, Muhammad Ali got fat and he had to lose weight or whatever. Just these crazy little things. Both of these guys going into this fight are mentally and will be physically, totally physically prepared. So to me, I see it as a matter of the will to win, which they both have, and who will be able to impose his will that night on May 2nd.
Well, you have to give a slight edge, psychological edge, mental edge, spiritual edge to Mayweather. He hasn't lost yet, so he gets that credit. But, this fight is so super significant and important to them. This is going to go on their resume. This is going to go on touch their legacy. This fight is about bragging rights. They've made the money. The money's guarantees. They can be banked. So it's about bragging rights.
Well, Mayweather is the favorite now, I think, in this fight, and rightfully so. But Manny Pacquiao has shown in his recent fights that he's back to being that volume puncher who throws a lot of combinations, and that's what's necessary for him if he's going to be competitive and have a good fight with Mayweather.
If I'm honest, I'm not as hyped about that fight as a lot of people seem to be. They're 36 and 37. The fight should have happened years ago. And all they're going to be is older versions of the fighters that they should have been when the fight would have been more intense, more dangerous, more ferocious. But now they're both, they're not getting any younger. I expect Mayweather to beat him because I always have done. I'm not that excited about the fight anymore, if I'm honest.
I personally think Mayweather will do what he does best, and I think he'll win wide on points.
I don't predict fights when I'm working on them, so I try to steer clear of that. But no question, if it's going to be a knockout, Manny Pacquiao would have the shot there because Mayweather, isn't bringing that kind of power to the fights right now. And but his speed he's the favorite to win. Floyd is the favorite to win, so certainly his speed could prove the difference. It's going to be a close fight, though. There's no question about that. It'll be a close fight, and the better man win.
My prediction is that I think Mayweather will just be too shrewd. It may not be as exciting a fight as we all think, but I think bit by bit Mayweather will get on top and could even possibly stop him in the later rounds.
I think obviously it's great for boxing. It's a fight which has kind of really been overdue for 4 or 5 years. It should have been made, but it's finally here. I think it's going to create a tremendous amount of interest. I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody has been talking about it, and for the industry as a whole, it's going to be a great opportunity to showcase boxing. I think you've got two of the fighters who are the premier fighters of their generation, and finally they get it on. And I'm looking forward to it, like so many other people.
I'm a Mayweather fan, through and through, without a doubt. I get him totally. Common sense tells me to go for Floyd Mayweather, without a doubt. But I'm going to go with my gut. And my gut's telling me Manny Pacquiao. That's just my gut. My gut and common sense never agree with each other. Common sense tells me Mayweather, but I'm going with my gut.
Method of victory? Can you specify?
That'll be points. Messi points win.
You think you're going to get a points decision in Vegas? Even if it's tight, you think they'll give it him?
Yeah. Listen, the eyes of the world are going to be on this fight. There can't be any skullduggery going on because it's just not going to be good for our sport. So this is when everybody's got to play right, play fair.
But I think Pacquiao could well have the tools to cause an upset. Mayweather's 38 years old now. He's had a fine reign, but if Pacquiao really wants this and wants to make history, I think it's a possibility that it could be a very close contest in the making.
I'm fairly confident Floyd will win. The odds makers have got him installed early doors. He was about 5-2. That's kind of I'm a trainer and a pundit rather than an odds maker, but that's kind of the way I see it. I think it's still an interesting fight. You know as well as I do that it should have happened many years before, and it's not like it's a Leonard Hearns in their scary primes clashing in 1981, even though you'd never know it from the astronomical ticket prices, unprecedented. I think Floyd will fit. I mean, it'd be interesting. People say struggles with southpaws. Manny still, even at the age he is still very high work rate, very bouncy in and out, throws a lot of punches. It'll be interesting to see how Mayweather, the conservative, shoulder roll styled shot picker, will deal with that. But deal with it, I think he will. I think it'd be one of those situations where no one can accuse Floyd of not being able to make adjustments. I think Pacquiao really can only more or less fight one way, very effectively, I would say. I think after 4 rounds, Floyd will start to work him out and will start to take over. And I think people will start to realise they can't hit Floyd. He punches a bit more spitefully than they might think he does. And people get discouraged against him, by and large, Maidana aside.
I see Mayweather. I probably am going to be in the minority here because I can actually see him with a late stoppage. I just think that Manny's, although he's come back very well since those back-to-back defeats against Bradley and Marquez, and obviously avenging the Bradley defeat, I think that he's just past his time a little bit. And I think, for me, I've got to go Mayweather, and I think with a late stoppage.